formula for success in a more difficult market that demands more from our associates and expertise and level. And as I was thinking about that, and I was thinking with my generation from my father and even Ken Kai's, I know many of you know this, but maybe I'm reflecting a little bit more. February of 1926 was when our company was founded in Miami. If you think back now, almost 97 years, a company making it 10 or 20 years is quite an accomplishment. A company making it 97 years. And so I was the third generation. Ken Kai's my father. And my theme for my era was a renaissance and a repositioning of our company with professional management, upgrading our offices, upgrading our tools and technology, and being a force. And the goal was to be the dominant broker in South Florida. Thanks to you, we've accomplished that. We basically are selling more properties in South Florida than any other brokerage firm with the family of companies. And as I look at Christina's level now that she's coming on, and Wendy and Liz, who are going to participate this, it really is about an E-squared messaging, which is engagement and execution. We have the platform, we have the position. Now, how do we leverage those opportunities and really engage more with you? And this is one format to communicate. The summer tour is the other. Obviously, our management team, our great management team is the third. And all the things that Christina has been implementing, our MBA, which stands for Making business attainable.
You didn't practice this part. I'm like, wait a minute.
Master business. So making business attainable. We've had 300 associates go through the MBA program, thanks to the mentors that are doing that, thanks to the individual. We just kicked off Aventura this morning. And then also the concierge program, which is now being able to partner with you and to do more with the technology, leveraging so that you can engage more. So if you're thinking, where are we going and what are we trying to do? One, we're looking into 2024. So we want you to start business planning and thinking about that now. And the second is, how do I engage more in a market that's not sizzling like it was 2 years ago, and engaging more through professionalism, through tools and technology, leveraging the resources, but engaging with more individuals and finding those that need to list or sell and get big money when you do that. So we're excited about the future. We're excited about the changes in the market because we believe our programs with you as your associates will thrive in this market, whereas the less individuals, we think that the real estate, in fact, yesterday, the board of Realtor asked you, when did you think that the Realtor numbers would drop? And what was your answer?
So I think Realtor numbers won't drop until next year, because typically associations lag in the market. And so if we're feeling a softening in the market, and I know you all are out there fighting for every single deal and starting to feel the tightness of the market, the associations won't feel that for next year, because many bill around this time of year. Many of you have already paid your dues if you're Miami members. And so everyone is kind of bought into this year, but next year, depending on how the whole 12 months go and trailing 24, you may see people drop out.
So let's get into the numbers. We're going to give you a lot of data, a little bit here, but we are going to work on what you can do at the end. So stay with us. We're going to hope to keep
a lot of information as always.
But this is what we're trying to do to communicate with you. Most agents, you know what's happening. You got it. Good agents are starting to understand the real underneath what's happening. And what we're going to try to help you do is explain today to your consumers on why and what's happening in the marketplace. So hopefully that's our goal. So the $1 million question is why is the Fed
Mike is very upset about this.
Why is the Fed raising interest rates? So let me pause on that before you get to the next one. It's interesting. It has been frustrating, and Christina's been guiding me, saying, Dad, quit telling them interest rates are going to go lower, because they haven't. It's been over a year and 3 months that they've been at 6% or higher, into the 7%. And what will happen is interest rates lag inflation. And then so basically inflation was rising, interest rates stayed low. When they finally figured out it was rising, then interest rates went higher. Now that inflation is starting to drop, interest rates are still higher because they want to make sure that they crush interest rates. So we are seeing an inflation steadily calming down. There's core inflation and regular inflation. The last 2 months, inflation has popped a little bit more than they expected. This week, they're supposedly going to vote yes or no on increasing the rates. General consensus is they're going to pause, and I hope they will. And so they're going to let us digest what they've already done. So there may be the worst may be over, and where we're at now is what we need to live with. But eventually, and we're going to talk about that later on, you may see a little lessening. But today, in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, expect 6.5%, 7% rates, and you're going to have to live with that and sell properties, which you can, and that people are buying.
Right. It's the idea that we have to believe that it's a good time no matter what. And as our Daniel Dennis, the president of Illustrated, says, his grandma used to say, sit down and act like you're staying here for a while, because we're staying here for a while, and we need to settle into this idea and work on our mindset. For those of you who attended Ninja, hopefully there's a lot of ninjas in the room, and work on our mindset to believe that this is where we should be, that we should be moving.
Let me just pause on that, Ninja, while she's talking about that. Is that see 220 of our associates.
Who's a ninja in the group? Shout it out.
Investing their time and their effort to, again, build engagement through personalization and social relationships. And you realize that if you can expand your sphere of interest and your connections, you can make a lot of money. And so we're thrilled to see you making that commitment. We, in turn, have invested in you hundreds of thousands of dollars to get you to that level. And if you throw in not only the 200 that just graduated, but the hundreds before, we think probably a third of our company now has gone through Ninja, maybe even close to half of the company, to learn the proper way. And again, that's the expertise and knowledge that we think is a cut above the rest. So
we got a lot of ninjas. Thanks for shouting out. Look at all our ninjas in the chat here, Mike. Yeah. Coral Gables, Ninja Nation. The system works.
I can't multitask. I can only focus on.
We're gonna we have some more ninja materials for you. Aaron put it in the chat. That was a little side note. But here's the good news, Mike. 4 million more jobs.
That's partly the issue with interest rates. And the jobs have continued to grow. There's 4 million jobs pre-COVID. What drives real estate, which is why you're seeing the demand still there, even though the supply isn't, is jobs. If people have jobs, that's the number one way that the real estate business is going to be strong, and it has been. The feds are trying to get this down, but the economy is so strong, thus why interest rates are staying stronger and higher. Go to the next. So this is where we see some opportunities. And so I think as you see that basically the annual sales pace is obviously down. You can see the flattening on the left side. You can see the bubble at 20 and 21 that you saw. You can see COVID when it hit and dropped in that March. And then we've since have slid down. There was a little bit of peak. And so we are seeing less sales today than we did in COVID. That therefore makes it a little bit better. And we talked about this at the summer tour. If business is down 25, 30%, you can talk to 100 people before, which is maybe 5 a day. Let's up it to 10 a day, which is a ninja deal, which is 200 people. You now need to talk to 15 people a day, 14 people a day, 30% more to do the same. So it's not a big dramatic change in your activities. It's basically expanding your base to do some more. And that's really what we're talking about, is engaging with more people throughout this market, and the business is there for the taking.
Yep. And here's the good news. Florida remains strong.
Yeah.
I mean, that, you know, while that was nationwide data, when you look at this data and you look at where we stand in our home price change, and while it does feel like that's starting to make things tougher, it's still a very positive thing because people are.
Well, you can see here the West Coast, where prices were very high, have fallen off, and you are starting to see some drops in prices, where the East Coast and Florida are still strong. So thank you. There's a Mississippi. We can talk about the expansion of America and the West and everything else, but still seems to think that the majority of the population is East, and we're still seeing that demand going on. You're going to see some more things about Florida here.
Yeah.
that'll float your boat.
Before we move to Florida, though, and we just put it in the chat, is if you are talking to those 15 people a day or even 10 people a day, and they're from one of these other states and may want to be making a move, make sure they're doing it with you, with leading real estate companies of the world, and send your outgoing referral today. We have that in the chat, but you can help your customers all over the country. Let them know prices are dropping in California. It's a good time to move here into Florida.
So just pause on that. Denise told me that Denise Talboy, head of leading real estate companies in the world, we paid $91,000 to our agents last month in outgoing referrals. That's just a small percentage of the total amount that was done, and that equals to over $1 million a year by picking up the phone, saying, I got somebody in New York, I got somebody in Chicago, I got somebody in California that needs to list or sell, and we can do that warm handoff very effectively, and we're dominating, let alone internationally. And as she said many times, we're the #1 leading real estate companies in the world, sharing business across the world. And we just closed one in Japan last month or two. And so it's there for the taking.
Right. So it's not just nationwide, it's worldwide, wherever your friends or family and your people may be moving. All right, just a little bit about Florida. We heard from the Florida economists. For those of you who were at Rock the Market, I think there were 100 of you. Shout us out if you were there at Rock the Market. I had 110 or something. Kai's agents, thanks for representing. That was a Miami real estate event, and it's still a hot place to be. Great, Vicki, it was great to see you. In migration is slowing. We were at like 1,200 a day. We're slowing down a little bit, but think about that: 1,200 people a day were moving to Florida. Mike always says this about the fact that Florida is now fun and sun. Yeah. And you can do work from anywhere. And we really believe, and you've heard us say this, COVID just sped up what we knew was coming. We have a great economy open for business. We have a great tax opportunity for businesses. And now with this idea that you can really, these untethered remote workers work from anywhere is absolutely amazing.
I'm going to give you some more dollars, some more information. Go to the next slide. So this is interesting what Christina just said. Florida's population, write this down. This is amazing. 416,000 new residents came into Florida. 400,000. That's the 1,142 net, meaning we lose and we gain. 1,100 is the positive side of that. And it's almost 2% increase, higher than any other state. The first time that Florida has led this statistic percentage-wise since 1957. And we're the third largest state in the country. So to do percentages, if anybody knows math, it's hard to move big numbers and get the percentages. Easy to do Montana, where nobody lives there, and to increase it by 2%. But then when you're talking 22 million people and you grow by that, it's huge numbers. And you're seeing that, obviously, why you chose it. And I don't want to raise your hands on the check, but why don't we put in, if anybody was born in Florida, you guys can raise your hand.
Who's born in Florida?
And
let us know.
Tell us the city you were born in.
Floridians, what city are you born in?
I was born in Hialeah. Everybody knows that. And
I was born in South Miami.
Yeah. So we got 2 residents here, but the rest of you all came from someplace.
West Palm Beach, or Boynton Beach, someone else in Hialeah.
Yeah.
And here's one.
True crackers.
Fort Lauderdale, Cocoa Beach, North Miami.
There was nobody in Cocoa Beach. They were surfing. Their parents were surfing when they were
there. You go. So Aaron put into the chat, and we'll go ahead when we send out a recap with all these links. But one of the great things, and we talked about the job growth, is that CNBC came out with a report that young, high-earning professionals are making Florida their #1 destination. And so that is adding to the price growth, that is adding to the growth of our area. but absolutely amazing. So where are people moving from? I think you all know the answers. Mike likes to say California, CALIF stands for
Come and live in Florida.
So there you go. Oh, look, Barbara was born in Orlando, Rockledge. We got a lot of locals.
Yeah, that's right. They migrated south. You guys are, came the opposite way.
Miami Gardens, but this is the most amazing. These are out of state driver's license exchanges from
the last 6 years, 7 years.
And realize that right now, I apologize, it is Miami-Dade and Broward.
So look at these. If you read these, California, which we know, which we didn't know, it's up there higher than it's ever been. You can see the spike in COVID. New Jersey, Texas, even Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, the normal suspects, Connecticut, and then even Nevada and Washington. But this is what is surprising.
We're missing one,
We're missing one that you guys would think. Show them the next slide. So look at that. All of those are dwarfed by New York. Look at that green slide from New York. And then the other slides we were showing you were the below when we were trying to blow them up. So we thought it would kind of be a cool thing to see.
It is pretty amazing to see the consideration and the change of New York. And that's really from Q1 2016. And you all know that they continue to come and come and come. And that's been pretty amazing.
And then to see not only are they national and US changing, we looked at the out-of-state driver's license, and we didn't know that they had it from different countries. We thought they could drive there without licenses. Oh, that's not politically correct. So, I mean, my dad used to say the why Miami is so chaotic.
I'm sorry for recording this. So there you go.
He said everybody comes from their own country and drives the way that they were raised.
Yes.
So it is a crazy way to drive, but you can see obviously that we're getting people domestically coming to Florida, but also foreign driver's license coming at a high rate. And on the next page, you can see the countries that they're coming from. Cuba, which I was surprised at, Haiti, Colombia, Venezuela, which are the standards, Brazil, Nicaragua, Canada, and then all the way through. So not only are we bringing national and U.S. citizens to South Florida, but we're continue to bring international business, and it seems to be coming back strong.
So let's talk about listings. Everyone is talking about listings. Where are they? Where do they stand? And so this is from Florida Realtors. Just another plug, floridarealtors.org/sunstats. You can pull these into infographics by city, by zip, anything that you want, all of that. Also. And Aaron's going to put that link in the chat.
Yeah, so what we know, and I think really what the dilemma in this market is and what's holding back, we talked about interest rates somewhat, but more importantly is inventory. And so we're going to focus on this fall helping you get more inventory. And you can see that there is a little bit of an uptick of inventory lately, as we're seeing some more. The dilemma is obviously interest rate locks, and people don't want to sell, but we believe, so listen up, the pent-up people can't not sell, and we're going to go into that. Eventually, they're going to have to blink and sell because life issues take part. And if you're engaging and executing on a plethora of levels on social media, on email blasts, on personal relationships and phone calls, when they have to blink and they finally throw in the towel and say, I got to sell, you're going to be ready for them to be able to handle it and help them do it. And so the two areas that we see is existing home sales. We saw this before, the same slide before is down. So go past this. I thought it was new homes. And then the new listings is ticking up a little bit there, where you're starting to see it's still lower than the norm, but it is ticking up a little bit. So we're thinking inventory may rise. That may flatten out pricing a little bit if you get more inventory, but we are lacking of inventory. So everybody this fall ought to be thinking, I've got to get listings. And if I get listings, it's gold in this marketplace. And that's our focus. So what this turns to, and this is a projection, this is national, is people are saying, and the economists are saying 2023 is the bottom. And that you can see that the estimate in number of unit sales because of the interest rates, and they are predicting as much as a 10% increase next year in 2024. So we're trying to position ourselves to be ripe and ready for that uptick by doing the things today and in the fall to position you to be ready to take advantage of the spring of next year as we move forward.
But here's kind of like the tale of two cities, right? And this is where we get into the tale. The existing inventory of existing homes is incredibly low. You all are seeing that in your marketplace. There's still many conversations around multiple offers on properties in different locations, and really
we just
buyers waiting.
Jim Curvin in our Platinum Properties partnership, they just listed a property in Jupiter Island for under $10 million, and it sold for in 2 days.
In 2 days, I think, with a couple offers.
Right. So congratulations, Jim, and your group, and so you're still seeing, even at the higher level, properties priced right, properties that look good and are ready for sale, are turning very fast, and there's a demand for that.
And the catch here, though, on the right is the most amazing part, and we're going to talk about how you can actually capitalize and use this to your advantage. But the new homes are now finally ticking up. Right. You've seen the builders come back in, and there's a lot of new homes for sale.
So Warren Buffett, whether you like him or not, and he's supposedly one of the best gurus and one of the wealthiest individuals in their country, picking the right stocks. He just invested $1 billion in the home builder stocks. He doesn't day trade. He's not getting in and out. He's a buyer and a holder. So he believes long term that the demand and supply is so low, but the demand's coming, and that builders are going to have a nice run going forward. And so we're going to talk about this. I talked to Ellie Santurio in our Doral office. We have one of our associates that moved to Ave Maria, which is about an hour west of Fort Lauderdale, a new community being built. And she took her agents out there, and now her agents are taking the Miami and Broward sellers looking for lower income and community, and they're going there and selling new products. Sherry Claudio said that she has shown the people Babcock, a community out in Fort Myers, east of Fort Myers, a Babcock community, and they're selling homes there. So you need to start thinking not necessarily locally, but where are other new home communities that people are desiring that are priced right, that they can sell from South Florida, that you can then garnish a 3% or higher, somewhat higher commissions with downgrading of their interest rates from the builder, throwing on amenities to the homes, and because they need to turn this inventory. So we think there's ripe opportunity in the new homes. So learn what those products are, be able to promote them on Facebook and social media, act like they're your listings, and we think there's new deals for you to find in this marketplace.
And that's where, a lot of the new home source, and we're going to actually talk about new home source in a couple slides here, but Aaron did put in the chat, register. Even if you cannot be there, you'll get a recording today at 12:30. We'll be talking about how to utilize our very own new home source to make it look like your personal listing to be able to promote to your customers. So this is your own inventory. If you don't have a listing this month, or even if you do, you have access to listings via this inventory with new home source.
How many of you don't have a listing and want a listing? You got one now.
Yep.
Promote a new home as yours.
And that's today at 12:30. The link is there. Even if you can't join, sign up, get the recording, and make sure that you follow up.
We think there's pent up demand. And part of the reason is you're seeing, she's covering up. Obviously, I think it was like 8 million new babies were born, or 7 million new babies were born. 3 million people got married. My son is finally got closed by my future daughter-in-law, and they're getting married in October. So he's the last of my 5 to bite the bullet. But along with marriages come divorces. And so when there's a divorce, there's got to be sale. 50% of the homes get divorced. You can see that 3 million, 1.5. 7 million people are like me, turning 65, going on Medicare, and aging out. And so they're not doing it fast. They're going to have to sell their older home and downsize. And you can talk to them about that and have conversations. People are still dying. We just did some estates. Somebody just said they got a $8 million listing from an estate sale. They're dealing with the heirs, and how do they deal with this? I think Denise Sexton, 4 million new net jobs. And then this is what's shocking to me. 50% 50 million people have transferred jobs internally in the last 2 years. They may have said, I don't have to go back to work, and now their company's making them go back to work. So there's going to be churn there. So we think there's ripe opportunity coming forward with people that are motivated to sell. And you've just got to engage and find those people that fit this level. I remember the newborn babies, Stan Rosen, one of our top associates.
He said he sold 3 homes in the past in Ave Maria in the past 90 days.
There you go, Stan. And I remember Stan, he was visiting his father in a townhome community, and there was a couple there, and they had a kid being on a stroller, and the lady was pregnant, and he goes, whoops, you got to move. You got to need a bigger home. And he did list their property and sold them another property because he was observing life changes. And so I think that's what we're asking you to do in those conversations.
But a big question is the mortgage. I had a conversation with someone last night who said, I'm waiting for the world to tank, and everybody's going to tank, and we can't sustain this. And so these are the real numbers of the mortgages in distress in Florida.
Yeah, so there's no question there's a tick up, and that there is a lot of equity and some people. And so the area, again, that you can get is the list pendants, people that stop paying. There are some credit card debts, and there is some deterioration of cash in the banks, which is what the feds want with all that money that we printed and all the PPP and the money they gave away. They are spending it and are starting to run out of it. So that's where we think the market may turn a little bit. When it's darkest before the dawn is really when real estate will do better. Right. Because we come out of it faster. We go into it first. We come out of it faster when everybody else is not doing so well. So my point being, I was with an individual in our Boca Raton office, one of our top associates, and they're contacting those list pendants. And so there's another opportunity for you to engage. I wouldn't make a call. I would do it circuitously, but say, hey, well, you've got equity, you're able to cash out. Maybe now's the time to be able to do it. So in the sense, we believe that rents will calm down, which is driving the CPI. Housing is really part of the problem of the CPI right now. And so you're starting to see that wane. Community banks are suffering, so there's a lot of noise around that with the interest rate arbitrage. And then the government bonds obviously have a spread between the 10-year yield. We've been talking about this for a year. It's at 4.35%
it dropped
today.
This morning.
Yeah, well, I don't know what dropped yesterday. And so if you add 2 to that, which has not been 2, rates should be in the low 6s. They're in the low 7s. And so there's been a point differential in this last year because of the uncertainty and the volatility. Once people believe that they've got a handle on this inflation, and we do think then the rates will start dropping accordingly. So,
but someone in the chat made an incredible point, and she says we need to remember that back in the 80s, interest rates were very high. FHA closed in 1986 at 10.5, a 30-year,
right?
And then in 1993 they went from 30 to a 15-year, and really what the normal was the 7.5.
Yes.
And so our not normal was this 2 to 4%. So we're in the normal now, and it's really where we need to.
That's what you need to accept.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing, which I think you know, is that mortgages with home with 50% and mortgages homes with 30. I mean, think about this. There's 68% of people owns their own home free and clear is 38.7%, which is a shocking number to me. And then mortgaged homes with 50% or more, 30%. So 68% of the homes in America have more than 50% equity. They're free and clear or the mortgage is less than half of what they're doing. So their people are sitting on a lot of equity. That's the dilemma, but also the opportunity to downside. We talked about yesterday with our managers, portability. Here's another key point for you. You should ask your clients to go out and get their market assessment.
Market value. There's 2 values on your property taxes: assessed value and market value. Your market value does not touch your property taxes. Assessed value does. What you want is to have the highest market value listed in your property taxes, so that when you move properties, you can take all of that additional value and put it into the new home.
Which will save your taxes on the new
lower
home.
your tax
So
rate.
tax portability is critical. Another conversation engagement that you can have, if with a baby boomer that's downsizing, you say, if your home has a market value of X, let's go in and assess it. Ron Yank said he called up the appraisal's office, said my home's market assessment's too low, market value is too low. He said they called him back and raised it $150,000 in 2 days.
And we had another manager who downsized. So that's the other conversation, is people say, well, the interest rates are too high, I'm not moving. Well, if you downsize and you can take this portability from these large houses, Mike and Kathy, and take them into a smaller house.
She keeps waiting for you guys, the grandkids, to come in and stay.
We're not going to go live with you all. We all have our own place. I'm trying. Okay. You can take it and move it into a smaller house and really save huge. One of our managers said he saved like several $1,000s on his taxes by making sure his market value is there. Aaron put in Homestead Check, a really great option with us, one of our great vendors and partners here. So here's the real question. If you could do 5 things and raise your income per hour, would you do it?
Yes. And that's really what we're trying to do, is to say what the case is you can only control yourself. You can't control the market. You can't control anybody else. There's a lot going on in DOJ with NAR and everything else, and compensation and cooperation.
Anyone watches Ninja or follows the Ninja tip? Yesterday was control what you can control. Stop comparing yourself and focus on mindset and what you can control, which is your activities every day.
I met with Senator Rosen, who's actually Stan's father and his brother, who I know, yesterday, and he said, if you look at what you have, you're blessed and you're rich and you're happy. If you look at what you don't have, you're poor, you're sad, and you're frustrated. So partly the gratitude and thankfulness, we've got a roof over our head, we've got plumbing that works, electricity that works, you got families that love you, you've got kids. I mean, I know life, and I don't want to diminish it. People are struggling with parents. Yeah, they got issues with kids. There's problems. There's people have lost in our family, have lost loved ones, and it's heartbreaking. So I do think there's sorrow and there's difficulty, and there's no question that everybody's going through some trials and tribulations. We've got one of our employees is fighting cancer, and we're going to talk about that a little later on. But there's so much to be grateful for. So getting the gratitudes and understanding the positive mindset that you're in, and feeding good things and turning the TV off with the news and thinking life is abundant and good and I can control my destiny by doing these activities, then you can be a great success. And that's what we're talking about here. So yes, I think you can determine your success, make as much as you want. It's math. You should be doing business planning with your manager. You should go in today and say, I want to plan for 2024. Okay, go ahead.
So let's talk about that real quick before I do. Eric Sane out of Palm Beach Gardens, our manager, and also a National Association of Realtors vice president in 2024, which is
thank you for your service. Amazing. Thank you.
They had a customer get their taxes down from $17,000 to $9,000 using portability. So they went from a large home to a smaller home and saved over $8,000 in taxes.
Right.
So it's worth a conversation. It's a reason to call. So we are so excited because we are talking about business planning, and I was trying to think, how do we make business planning even more exciting? How do we ramp up your business really for the next 3 months? And now is the time, and we talk about this a lot. What we do today will make us successful in January and in February. And so in order to see that come to fruition, we're going to have to ramp up our business. Those of you who were around in 2009 and in 2011 may remember we did an incredible poker game where we awarded you for different activities, various activities from.
So what Christina says, let's have some fun.
Yeah,
playing the game.
I'm not very fun.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to have some fun. Okay.
So we're basically going to have a poker game in each of our offices that you win cards and chips by doing the activities that generate business.
Right.
And so it starts October 1st. So the next week or two, don't sandbag, but you can. The next week or two, we're educating the managers for application of a loan. If you get somebody to take an application, you get cards and chips. If you get a listing, you may get lots of cards because that's what we're focused in on. If you send out a referral, you get chips and cards. If you all those things, and then if you can get 5 chips and 5 cards in the next 2 months from October to November, you get to participate in a game at your office. And therefore, they're going to have a fun game. People can come watch food and games. And there's going to be a real poker game being played. All of the winners of the 35 Kai's offices, and we'll see if Illustrated joins in and get 50, they then will then get to play a poker championship game at the Hard Rock. And we'll basically have a 1 winner for a grand prize of all the players. So it's really more about having fun, using what we're going to talk about next, engagement, but then in return, you get rewarded. And we think it can be a lot of fun going along the way. And in that fun, Broward County's hosting a picnic in a couple of weeks, I think October 14th. And has a couple 300 people signed up. There's a volleyball tournament. There was a Dade County tournament. Doral beat out Miami Lakes in the volleyball tournament. So a lot of fun. So now, and I know COVID's kind of coming back, but we're looking to have some fun as we're engaging along the way. So hopefully you'll engage and like it, and it'll be, I think, fun for your office and also fun for you, and it'll be fun for the company.
And so be on the lookout, reach out to your managers, get your business planning in place, and make sure we understand the rules. We're going to launch with our managers next week, and all of the everything will be coming out through our announcements, from my email, from Mike's email, and through your managers. So be out on the lookout for the rules, how to get into the game, and we're excited to see you.
Gotta get going.
So we're gonna go ahead and bring in our very own Wendy.
So 5 things you can do to drive business at this stage of the game as we're engaging and we're executing, because you can't worry, you have to do. And those people that do and focus and get into the day-to-day are the winners. So tell us, Wendy, about our Core Presents. Is she on? Or
she is here. I would love for her to turn her camera on. It's not letting me.
I can't. It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
All right, Gabby, I think you were on the back end and letting panelists turn on their cameras. So if we can get you signed in there really quick. I think Gabby is with us to turn that on, make sure our panelists are allowed to turn on their cameras. Give me 1 second.
All right, I can ad lib while we're waiting for this, but you're looking for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can do it myself and see if we can get it done.
All right, so I'll fill in here for you, Wendy, while you guys are doing that. Is Core Presents is a CMA online with a presentation. We've talked about this, and you guys have heard this, but you know that home values have increased 50% in the last 3 years. So a $400,000 house in 2019 is now well over $600,000. I don't believe, and you shouldn't believe, that everybody knows that. And so I think there's no question, if you can communicate that to your sphere, to those people, it takes maybe 5 minutes to run a report with an address and be able to do that for you. There's no question that you will be able to get business. If you got up in the morning, and I want you to do this with your managers. I talked to, it was a great, Bonnie, our Miramar manager, said to go through your sphere, and we're going to roll this out with you. You have to call all the people in your database. In your phone, it's A to Z. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. If you call 2 letters a week in 1 quarter, which is now the 4th quarter as we're entering in, you'll have talked to everybody in your database. So I want you to start thinking, I'm going to call A and L today. For this week, everybody that starts, their last name starts with A and everybody starts with L in the database, they can then get to a call from you. You should do the same thing with Core Presents. You should go through your database and send basically A through L, everybody that's got an A, everybody that's got an L, and send out a presentation to them. If you engage, if they engage and they look at the process and look at the properties, I promise you, you'll get people to reach out and connect with you, because it's real information with real products today of individuals that want to sell or think about selling, and it may move them to be able to do that.
So Wendy, anything you want to add?
Yes, so absolutely. I think a couple of things, and you all know what I look like. I actually feel more comfortable without the video. So but good morning, everybody. I think a couple of things that are really unique about Core Present and really valuable to you. First thing is you have a one-page report, right? So you don't have to do the full report in CMA. You can just do a simple one-page report and send that out to your sphere and to your contacts that are in your database. By the way, guys, we have over 4 million contacts in our CRM and in our databases. And so there's plenty of people to communicate with. It's just about creating those conversations. So this is a great way to create them. You send out the one-page report and you offer to meet with them and do a full real estate review and property evaluation. Many people don't know all of the opportunity that's out there. They're hearing the negative press, but they're not getting the positive information. And so if you can be that positive source of information, it's a game changer. These reports are interactive. The consumer can interact with them. They can see the listing details of the comps. They can see why something is or is not included as a comp, which is a big question that I know I hear a lot. Like, why didn't you, include the house across the street, even though it's 6 times bigger than my house, And so they're interactive. They update dynamically. So if your consumer goes back to that link 2 weeks, a month, 6 months from now, it's going to update with the most recent information. And so I think that is huge as well. It really allows them a point of reference that they can continue to go back to. Kai's Marketing does keep it fully up to date. So all of our newest numbers, newest slides, that's always going to be what's there inside of Core Present. We train on it regularly. Check your training calendar if you're unfamiliar with how to use it. And I think the biggest testimony to how powerful Core Present is that our offices that show the highest level of usage also are our highest listing offices. So that's a big thing.
I'm going to tee Wendy up again on Condo.com. She's been working on this and really been the guru. Before we had Wendy, we were going to introduce her on the phone. She was just announced as the Innovator of the Year for the National Association of Realtors. Now, I don't think you understand what that means. There's 70,000 real estate firms out there, and she was chosen one of 3, I believe, that was the Innovator of the Year. And what she does by vendors and programs, you can talk to anybody in the country. There's nobody that knows a vendor that isn't engaged and that is able to implement it into our system better than Wendy. So we're really thrilled. But when we look at opportunities again of engagement, we think there's big opportunities in condos because of the assessments and the inspections that have to come down, that the individuals are going to have to be paying more. That's going to knock some sellers and owners of condos out of their residency. They're not going to be able to afford it. So there's going to be strain in the condo market over the coming years. So we're asking you and looking for you. If you look for motivation, we think the motivation is going to be in the condo market. So you should be getting involved in that, Christina.
I'm not the Innovator of the Year, but I did figure it out. Sorry,
Yeah.
I know you don't like to be on camera, but we'll have her here for the one last second. We're going to bring you back to
We'll talk
Wendy.
about condos.
Finish up here, and then we got a couple more slides before we wrap up.
Okay, perfect. So big things with Condo.com and our relationship with them is that you as an agent can be listed as the exclusive building advisor on buildings on Condo.com. There's a full marketing platform that comes with this that includes the website, the owner portal, social media templates, the postcards that go out to the owner. So it's really fantastic. It's, marketing in a box. great listing tool because it provides you that third-party endorsement that Condo.com is saying that you are the building advisor for that building. And biggest thing, $49 monthly summer special is still on every single building that is on Condo.com. It's $49 a month. You get all of the same tools that you get whenever they're running their full price. So really great opportunity for you. The price does not go up later. Once you secure the $49 monthly special, it is $49 for as long as you remain the building advisor.
So my point is, again, if you're engaging, you live in a condo, you ought to be working the condo, getting the minutes, going to the meetings, the condo association meetings, getting engaged, hanging out at the pool, all the things that Jim, we think it's right for opportunities. And probably the biggest turn in the next year in Florida will be in the condo markets.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of, we have Condo.com as a way to advertise and whatnot. We're going to keep, well, Wendy, you can stay on if you want to add to this. But these are really just some of the few ways that you can get out there and start farming today. Mail is still here. It came back strong in COVID.
So let me give you the percentages. Emails, and not emails, but internet leads convert at 0.5% to 2%. Postcards and mails, guess what? Do the same thing. Now I get internet leads. You're paying the 20-25% referral. You're having to pay for those leads now. We believe today that the postcards and mailers is really the strongest. When we look at our top associates, the people that are doing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 150, $200 million in the company, they're all mailing consistently. So there's lots of uses. You've got RSP, you've got Falkenberg, and then along the way in marketing, and Wendy, you may want to talk about this, is AdWorks, which is kind of farming online. So tell us a little bit about AdWorks, Wendy.
Absolutely. AdWorks is absolutely incredible at helping to back up your print advertising, right? So the same people that you're mailing to, you can also be doing digital ads to those people as they're surfing around on the internet. So whether they're on ESPN or Yahoo, wherever they may be, we can serve up those digital ads for you and for your listings. As you all know, the company already pays for retargeting on all of your websites, and we're serving those ads up digitally. But digital ads is a great backup. They see you in the mailbox. They see you when they're surfing the internet online. You become their real estate expert because they see you everywhere they look. And that's really the key to the marketing and advertising.
And last but not least is the farming, really the numbers. Those who market a farm own it 4 times more than those who don't. They also have a higher price point than those who don't. And lastly, if you're using your just listed, just sold through our RSP, Kai's is paying for additional mailers to those sellers who raise their hand, and Kai's will mail out for you 6 more times if that seller is interested in finding their value. So it's so important to be getting out there. We got 10 minutes.
But I was just going to say, and Wendy's boosting all of your listings. When we looked at cost cutting, there's 100,000 impressions last week with 1,000 people giving you their name and numbers for you to then drip and engage with them through the CRM. So
we've been talking a lot about our properties. Luxury is an incredible part of our community, an incredible part of Kai's. We sell absolutely an incredible amount of
So giving you the numbers, the $3 billion last year of luxury properties sold in South Florida of our $8.5 billion. And we're here and proud to present liznunes, who's our luxury portfolio expert. She's an added resource. She's not new to Kai's. She was with Kai's, went to Illustrated, and now came back to be able to support us with the luxury portfolio.
This is our new luxury director. Many of you saw the email come out. We're excited to have her on board. She's going to be working on some trainings, but just wanted you all to put a name to the face, give us a little bit of background on luxury portfolio and how you can help them with their luxury business.
Good morning. I was going to say that you saved the best for last, but then you made me follow Wendy. So I guess that's out the window. The best second to last. So luxury portfolio is by no means a new concept for many of you guys and our associates at Kai's, but maybe what it actually does, the actual value that it brings to you as an associate is new. And I'm new here kind of in this role, but many of you know me, and I think I see a lot of names in the chat that I recognize. So it's great to be back with Kai's. What we want you to understand is we do know luxury. we do live in the luxury space. We work in the luxury space. We are here. And if it's your first luxury listing, no fear, right? We can help you. We can support you. We have a ton of tools to give you that. This slide is going to show you just those top 5 benefits for an agent that just from LPI. There's so many other things. These are like the very kind of just off the top, the cream off the top, right? But there's so many other things. And outside of LPI, we can also help you if you need some really kind of specific marketing for a luxury listing. If you've got a seller that's like, I need to be marketing in a very specific area or a specific publication, but we can do all of that for you. If you're an experienced luxury associate, we've got some kind of next level things that we can help with your current listings and as you go out and try to get more listings. So I am here to help support you, whether you are going out on your first luxury listing presentation, you are super seasoned and you're going after a really big listing, you just need kind of some fresh ideas for marketing your luxury properties, or you're just trying to get into the luxury space and you're saying, hey, what do I do? Where do I start? Call me and we'll put my contact information in the chat.
I just put her email, liznunes@kais.com. So you have that for you as a resource. Be on the lookout for more emails from Liz. They are not spam. They're here to help you grow your business.
And we're looking forward to doing more in that space. And we've been $20 million, $30 million, $10 million. It's not uncommon for you all to be selling those properties. And so we're really excited. And we think the competition that's public in that marketplace is going to be strained. We think there's going to be more expired listings in that space that we can come in and then offer real tools and exposure to those marketplaces. So we're really thinking that we can rev up that marketplace in the coming when there's opportunities because of Liz and because of the opportunities with Luxury Portfolio and all the offerings that we have.
So thank you, Liz, for being with us. We got a lot more slides and only 6
We're
minutes.
having a seminar on this.
So we're having a seminar. We talked about it already. New home source today at 12:30. Put it in the chat, register. It is so important to make these listings look like your inventory. And not just this, visit the condo buildings that are new builds, visit everything that's out there and make those your listings and your inventory.
We had Elizabeth Rodriguez sold, I think, $30 million of new condo construction, and they're paying 6%. Do the math. That's $1.8 million in commissions.
Yep.
So it's big money. And again, we're trying to engage you and execute, but you have the inventory here. So Wendy, do you want to add anything on this?
We're going to move to Stride.
Okay.
Wendy, we're going to have that webinar at 12:30. Join
Yes.
us. Do not miss it. If you can't, make sure you join and you watch the webinar later. Meet with your manager on how to best utilize it, because this is health insurance.
Yes.
Yes.
It's very exciting. So Kais has partnered with Stride. Stride is a facilitator of both health insurance benefits, vision, dental, as well as tax planning tools for 1099 workers. They actually are partnered with Uber as well, and they are one of our modern venture companies. And so they came to us offering a partnership for all of our associates. September 26th at 2 p.m. We're doing a big kickoff webinar for all associates to give you the information. Please be on that, at least get registered for it so that we can send you the recording. Greatest thing with Stride is you're going to go in during the open enrollment time period. You put in the doctors that you're dealing with or medications that you're on, and it really sorts the marketplace for you in a way that surfaces up the best programs that are out there for you. And you're able to register online. They have full support. I will let you learn all about it on the webinar, but health insurance, tax benefits, expense trackers, it's truly amazing.
It's going to be amazing for your business, for your family. So another incredible product and tool that we launched is?
So we are launching. We have not launched yet. October 1st. We will turn it on for everyone. We are launching a pilot with BHR, and BHR is the creators and founders of the Real Report. So they have a single source for every single address in the United States that you can go to and pull full data. So it is BuildFacts on steroids, really. And I think what's really special about it is that it has an AI component that allows you to ask questions and allows your customers to ask questions about properties in natural language. So you don't have to read a bunch of graphs and search through a bunch of data. You can just type in whatever your question is about a specific property, and it will answer you conversationally. Really, really exciting. It's going to be launching October 1st. Look for the training events and the rollout events. It will be in your company cloud on KB Core, single sign-on, unlimited usage. We're doing a 3-month pilot. I'm looking for your feedback, and we will be looking to integrate this further in the future.
So just so you know, she mentioned Modern Ventures. We're a shareholder of Modern Ventures. We've invested. Wendy's an advisor to that, getting cutting edge new technology coming in, so you can feel like you should know, and I believe you're in the best hands. So let's go to, thank you, Wendy.
Right,
We've said this
Wendy.
a little bit more about, obviously, family of services is important. We think having conversations, home value conversations is important. We think there's investor information that Airbnbs may not be working so well. Properties may have peaked, insurance rates have gone up. So there may be investors that say, hey, it's time to sell and get out because the doesn't look as bright in the future. Obviously, we talked about interest rate fears. Get with your loan officer. Lots of opportunities there. And then home insurance, we've got the experts. So you're backed up with a great team. There's no question that you have support from insurance, title, mortgages, and property management with all the experts there as we go through it. We're running out of time.
Last but not least, we do have our family of services. They were not on this call, but we're asking that you work alongside of them. They are your pit crew. When we were on tour this year, they are there to support you, back you up with what you need, whether it's fair housing, whether it's tenant issues, insurance issues we didn't even touch on. We're going to be having our family of services webinars throughout. We have the condo issues. Our loan officers know all about the condos. Reach out to them. We're asking for your partnership in utilizing them and utilizing their partners. They're there to help you get it done.
2 more slides. The Dolphin Challenge Cancer. We expect 250, like even 300. It's a party, a fundraiser.
Are you writing? Albert wants to know if you're writing 100.
I'm not writing 100. Albert, good luck. I'm sticking to my 55. I'm old. If I can do 55 miles, I figure that's pretty good for my age. If the young bucks can do the 100, but maybe you can entice me if I can get on. I just don't know if I need to prove anything at this age of my life.
I'm going to do the 55 with you.
Yeah,
but
the top 10 of overall, and thousands will be there. Millions will be raised. 10 million. It's the biggest NFL fundraiser in the country. You can participate, but more importantly, you're helping your members, your fellow associates, your fellow family members to get access to the best research hospital in South Florida. So there's 2 golf tournaments coming up, Illustrated in the north. We put that in because Kai's is in Broward, and so for those up in the north, they may want to join Abacoa and have those. One is November 16th. The other one is November, I think the week before, November 9th or so. A lot of fun, about $200 per person, $800 for a foursome.
Includes lunch, dinner, cocktails, silent auction, all raising money for Dolphins.
So we'd like to see a foursome in every office, engaged and have some competitiveness and show your support. Great fundraiser to go to a good cause as we move forward.
And yes, a reminder, all of this will be sent out in a recording with the links, with all of the slides for you to watch and rewatch as you need. And we'll get that out this afternoon from my email.
So what the last slide says is great agents take pride in making things easier to understand. You've got the answers. You have the knowledge. You're the strength in the marketplace. You're the foundation. There's lots of confusion. Brokers are scared, as I told you before. Other agents are concerned. DOJ's coming after NAR, and you're the direct path to success because you're calm, because you're knowledgeable, because you have the tools and technology, and you will thrive way above the rest. We are gaining market in this market, and there's no question that we're going to have a great 2024 and finish strong in 2023. God bless you. We love each and every one of you. Get a thrill to see you when you get a listing and do a deal, and even do rentals. We count those on top of it because we know that's future business, and you should contact those people into getting the buy. So keep up the great work. Come into the office. We need the energy and synergy and to learn from each other. It doesn't happen. No man is an island, but together we're stronger and we're better.
Make sure you're checking out our Kai's Company events page and all of our social media. Sometimes we push out information there. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Looking forward to connecting with you, engaging, and helping you execute an incredible 2024 business plan and the rest of 2023.
Keep up the great work. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful week, everybody.